Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars video. So today we have a pretty jam-packed news update, and the main focus is going to be Ahsoka Season 2. I've spoken about it so much in recent videos. We talked about comments by Ivana Sakno, we looked at some new information for Baylan, but today, something more concrete. And the timing couldn't have been any better, because it comes just after my Bryce Dallas Howard video. That's right. We have an update for that legend. The list of directors for Season 2 has been announced, and it's very good news. Some of them unsurprising, but a couple of new names as well. And I do just want to preface this by saying they've only announced 4 names. We don't know if that's the entire list, or if it's just some of them. But if it is all of them, it could be 2 episodes apiece. So 4 directors for the 8 episodes. So let's begin with the unsurprising ones. The showrunner Dave Filoni, who in the first season directed Episode 1, Master and Apprentice, and Episode 5, Shadow Warrior. The next director is another returning name, Jennifer Getzinger, who directed Part 6, Far, Far Away, often considered one of the best episodes of the first season. So now we come on to non-returning directors. This one is a new name for this show, but definitely not a new name in the Mandoverse. This is the biggest one, Bryce Dallas Howard, everyone's favourite director on Book of Boba Fett, Mando, and Skeleton Crew. And now she can boast that she's the only director who's worked on every single post-Return of the Jedi TV show. That is quite the achievement, and I can't wait to see what she does in Season 2. And you know, you've heard me say this, but I don't think Bryce deserves the backlash she received for the Jack Black and Lizzo episode of Mando Season 3. It was such a strange episode which to many fans marked a steep decline in the series, but it wasn't a decision that Bryce made. She famously said in the behind the scenes, it was Jon Favreau's decision to have those guest stars, Jack Black, Lizzo and Christopher Lloyd. She was very excited to work with them, but also gobsmacked. I guess Ahsoka Season 2 is similar, in that Dave Filoni's writing it, but I really doubt they'd pull something like this again. And the final director is Anders Engstrom. He's one of the lesser known names on the list, and I couldn't find too much information, let alone interviews with him, but he's well known for his work on the Percy Jackson TV show. So some really high caliber talent, and Ahsoka Season 2 comes out in late 2026. We're now talking about some big, official updates. And another news for the show, Imanis Fundi is here in the UK to film more Ezra scenes. He was recently seen at Wimbledon tennis, and even posted photos of himself holding a Grogu Funko. Now, this could just be because he's a big Star Wars fan in his own right, but some Ahsoka fans have been reading deeper into this. Is he alluding to a Grogu appearance in Ahsoka's second season? My reaction to this speculation is, I just don't see where there's time. Ahsoka Season 2 is going to deal with Peridia, Baylan, Shin, Ahsoka and Sabine, and the New Republic back home. But then I realized, Din Djarin and Grogu are now Rangers of the New Republic, and they're working with the Delphi Squadron, which includes Zeb Orrelios. And because Zeb and Ezra were part of the Ghost Crew, and Zeb has not seen Ezra in a very long time, because he was stuck on Peridia, well now that he's home, a reunion with Zeb could be in place, and that could connect us to seeing Mando and Grogu. And you guys have to remember in Star Wars Rebels that Ezra met Yoda, so I'm very curious to see how he would react to meeting Grogu. It might be similar to when Ahsoka met him. Ezra might say something like, I've known only one other of this kind, although with Ezra's sense of humour. So maybe the Mandalorian movie coming in May 2026 has some connections to Ahsoka Season 2. But now I want to show you something really huge. I know it's a bit blurry, but it's the clearest photo we have of the Ahsoka Season 2 logo from Celebration. And you might be thinking, well, what's so impressive about this? It's just the Ahsoka logo from Season 1 with the words Season 2 under it. Yes, but like I said, I'll be covering every breadcrumb. This certainly got me hyped. And in addition to this, some Disney Plus users are reporting that they're seeing Season 2 coming soon under Ahsoka on the streaming platform. And if you remember a couple of days ago, Ivana Sakno said they're already a quarter of the way done. So production might be going better than planned. And it's one of the few Star Wars projects that there's a clear roadmap for. They're not beating around the bush. Dave Filoni knows where this story is going, and I'm really excited to see it unfold. So we're going to be returning to Ahsoka in just a moment, but first we need to dip our toes into the rumour mill. Do you guys remember a couple of days ago there were rumours that Kenobi Season 2 might be in the works? It was a rumour from Daniel Richman, and I told you guys don't believe it. It's probably BS. But since, there have been some rumblings which might suggest Lucasfilm is considering more with Obi-Wan, but apparently it depends on the performance of Ahsoka Season 2. The logic seems to be this. Fans loved the return of Hayden and Ewan, but the overall sentiment was that the Kenobi show was a missed opportunity to do more with those flashbacks. So Ahsoka's first season gave us more Hayden, and fans went wild for that, Anakin in the world between worlds. So apparently what they want to do in season 2 of Ahsoka is to bring Ewan McGregor in as Obi-Wan as both a Force ghost and for more Clone Wars flashbacks. And I have heard a couple of things to do with Obi-Wan connected to the Mortis gods. Maybe the logic is to bring Ewan back to get fans excited about the character again. Maybe they're trying to get rid of the bad taste in our mouths, but those are just a few things we've heard. So while we're on the subject of Ahsoka, my friends, there is one iteration of the character who we cannot forget, Ashley Eckstein, the voice of the animated Ahsoka, long before Rosario Dawson portrayed her in live action. And in a recent episode of Pod of the Rebellion, which is the Star Wars Rebels podcast, Ashley Eckstein remembers what it was like not knowing the fate of the character, and where the famous hashtag #AhsokaLives originates. When discussing the Rebels Season 1 finale Fire Across the Galaxy, Eckstein reveals she was entrusted with the secret of Ahsoka's survival and appearance well in advance. And in case you don't remember, the reveal of Ahsoka's survival post-Clone Wars was massive, because she barely appeared in Season 6, Season 7 wasn't out yet, and the last thing fans remembered about her was her parting ways with the Jedi Order, and then her supposed death, which luckily wasn't true, in Yoda's Season 6 vision. So Star Wars fans had many questions. She knew Ahsoka would return as Fulcrum, but the weight of the secret affected the way she interacted with the fanbase. She had to drag herself away from the internet, and even skip the series premiere, choosing to distance herself because she knew her excitement might lead to spoiling it, the big reveal at the end of the season. However, an accidental tweet spilled the beans anyway. Eckstein clarified that it's she, and not Dave Filoni, who started the now famous #AhsokaLives movement. Inspired by the Darth Vader lives trend, Eckstein's enthusiasm got the best of her. Immediately after Ahsoka walked down the ladder of the Ghost, Eckstein impulsively tweeted #AhsokaLives, and that's where it comes from. Her intention was to celebrate the character's return and express her own excitement that was under wraps for far too long. However, her social media post inadvertently spoiled the reveal for many fans around the world, particularly those on the West Coast, or those who are in other time zones and hadn't seen the episode yet. The reaction was somewhat divided. While some celebrated the confirmation, others were pretty upset that the surprise was ruined. But let's be honest guys, who can stay mad at her? She is the embodiment of everything amazing Ahsoka Tano represents. And then of course, the #AhsokaLives movement continued through Season 2. It was used by viewers who wanted Ahsoka to survive her duel against Darth Vader in the Season 2 finale. The hashtag became a testament to the character's enduring appeal and the unwavering dedication of her fanbase. And now many years later, as we look forward to Ahsoka Season 2, I seriously believe despite recent weak performances in some Star Wars projects, viewership is gonna skyrocket. I think the fandom and the world in general needs Ahsoka at the moment. And I also like the idea that Ashley Eckstein gets some kind of cameo in the final season. I think she once expressed that she'd love to return. She's been the voice of her across Clone Wars, Rebels, Tales of the Jedi, but a live-action cameo of some kind would be amazing. Imagine if we see a flashback to Ahsoka's mum. If a live-action version of that happens in Season 2, then why not give the role to Ashley? Just my suggestion.